Water parks, they're some of the most thrilling and exhilarating places you can go to, where you'll find wave pools, lazy rivers, and enormous slides for both a relaxing and adrenaline-filled adventure. They're also the ideal place to go to cool down in soaring temperatures, so it's no surprise that their popularity has skyrocketed in recent years, as companies begun to use the latest technologies to develop new attractions, and at the same rate they do for amusement parks. Some, though, have taken things to a whole different level in terms of what they offer. So, from the tallest slides and the most complex rides to the largest indoor parks and the most dangerous, it's time to travel the world to visit the top 15 most extreme water parks. Let's begin. Number 15. Aquar Qatar. The authorities in Qatar are investing heavily into turning the country into one of the world's premier tourist destinations. And other than hosting the 2022 Soccer World Cup there, countless different venues have either opened or are in the process of being built to turn the desert country into a paradise. Arguably, one of the most ambitious projects of all is Aquar Qatar, which is one of the largest water parks in the world that's located in Lusail City, which itself is on an artificially created island. The water park covers an area of 300,000 square feet, and when it's completely finished will feature 36 water slides and attractions. Strangely, for a water park, the theme of Aquar Qatar is oil, which has played such a vital role in Qatar's history. The central feature of the park is a huge 279-foot-tall tower that will not only become what they claim to be the highest water slide in the world, but also a total of 12 rides across 6 levels, with an elevator that's used to reach the top. There will also apparently be a 3D augmented reality slide and countless other pools, lagoons, and wave machines, as well as a huge retail and dining district and residential and hotel spaces around the exterior. Able to accommodate as many as 50,000 guests at a time, if Aquar Qatar ever reaches its full potential, it'll certainly redefine what's possible in a single water park. Number 14. Schlitterbahn Water Park, Kansas City. In 2009, after an estimated cost of $750 million, Schlitterbahn opened its first water park outside of Texas in Kansas City, covering an area of more than 40 acres, and with plenty of land set aside for further development. The company was incredibly ambitious with its designs, and hoped this would help them become a nationally, if not internationally known name, and allow them to expand further around the country and the world. At opening, Phase 1 of the project was complete, and it included 12 water rides, 3 restaurants, and 2 shops. To begin with, it proved to be popular, but because of the recession at the time, the company was forced to put its plans for a huge hotel and retail area on hold. By 2011, the decision had been made to take things to another level, with the construction of 6 new rides, but the company's attempt to go to the extreme was what would eventually be the park's downfall. You see, the flagship water slide that opened in 2011 was called Veruk, and it laid claim to the title of the tallest and fastest water slide in the world. At a height of 168 feet and 7 inches, riders would board a 3-person raft and would reach speeds of up to 65 miles an hour as they plummeted down a 17-story drop. Unfortunately, the rush for making it so exhilarating meant that there weren't as many safety precautions as you might expect, and in 2016 a young boy sadly lost his life on the ride. It was immediately closed, and the bad publicity meant that visitor numbers dropped to unsustainable levels. The park was forced to close for good after the 2018 season, and has been completely demolished to be replaced by an amateur sports complex. Number 13. Wet n Wild Gold Coast, Australia. Operated by Village Roadshow Theme Parks, which is one of Australia's largest park owners, Wet n Wild Gold Coast is a huge water park in Oxenford, which is on the Gold Coast in Queensland. Construction on the site first began in 1982 after the man behind it researched hundreds of other water parks around the world. It opened as Cadds County Water Park and was at the time the largest of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's gone from strength to strength ever since. Currently, with more than 1 million visitors per year, it's the largest in Australia and is the 8th in the world, and because the heated water and temperate climate of the region, it's open all year round too. In total, there are 4 large pools, 17 water slides, and 2 children's areas, including the extreme H2O zone for adrenaline junkies that has 3 insane slides, the Kamikaze, the Tornado, and the Black Hole. Also featuring rides that don't involve water and plenty of other entertainment too. It's no surprise that this is one of the most popular venues in the region, and that the company behind it keeps investing in new attractions to keep them all well ahead of the competitors. Add to the fact that it's next door to the Warner Brothers movie world, and you easily could spend a week there and still have plenty to do. Number 12. Holiday Coaster World and Splashin' Safari, Indiana, the Mammoth Water Coaster. Originally known as Santa Claus Land when it opened in 1946 but renamed in 1984 the Holiday World and Splash and Safari, in Santa Claus, Indiana is an incredible combination of a theme park and water park. It's divided into 4 sections that are themed after different holidays: Christmas, Halloween, the 4th of July, and Thanksgiving. It boasts a total of 49 attractions over a 125-acre site. There are 2 wave pools, a launched dueling water coaster, a lazy river, and plenty of water slides. But what the place is best known for is the Mammoth Water Coaster, which when it opened in 2012 became the longest water coaster on Earth, with a track length of 1,763 feet, or about 530 meters. It also has the world's 2nd longest water coaster and 5 traditional roller coasters, meaning there's something for everyone here to enjoy. With continual expansions and new rides being added almost every year, it's no surprise that the Holiday World and Splash and Safari has become one of the most popular destinations in the state, with around 1.2 million visitors annually. And it is the place to go if you want to be surrounded by holiday characters at any time of the year. Number 11. Aqualandia, Benidorm. Located on the Spanish coast of the Mediterranean in Benidorm, Aqualandia became the first water park in Spain when it opened in 1985, and it's in such a tourist hotspot that it's gone on to become one of the largest water parks in the world, and now covers an area of 1.6 million square feet. It was designed to feel spacious and surrounded by nature. There are several pools nested within ornamental gardens that give a sense of seclusion, but this is a place that was created to appeal to everyone. If fast slides and adrenaline-fueled action are what you're looking for, then you won't be disappointed either. There's at least 20 main rides, including Vertigo, which at 108 feet, it's the tallest water slide in Europe, the mysterious Black Hole Slide, the multi-track Splash Slide, the high-speed Big Bang Slide, and the crisscrossing Zigzag Slide. Also featuring plenty of food and merchandise outlets, everything you could possibly need is here. It's a destination in its own right, and a highlight of many families' visits to Benidorm. There's also a big focus on being environmentally friendly at Aqualandia, so rather than taking water from a national supply, virtually all of it is sourced from wells and springs on site, which is then passed through the park's custom-designed water filtration systems. Number 10. Thermos dos Laranjas, Brazil. Found in the Olympia municipality of Sao Paulo in Brazil, Thermos dos Laranjas is the most visited water park in all of Latin America. This leads at times to packed crowds wherever you look, but there's so much to do here that it'll always be an incredible visit. Across the site there are more than 20 thermal pools, some of which are for adults only and others that are focused on being more child-friendly. Most of the pools there are heated from natural sources, and this water's also pumped throughout the various slides and other attractions around the park. There's countless water slides, a surprisingly long lazy river feature, wave pools, and paddle ponds, where there's more water activities than it's possible to do in a single day. There's often more on offer there too. On dry land, the park has a tropical bird zoo where you can see a wide range of Brazilian animals, and there's also tennis courts, the opportunity to go horseback riding, and a large panoramic restaurant with incredible views of the surrounding landscape. Having first opened as a small venue in 1987, Thermos dos Laranjas is another water park that's been so successful that it continues to expand. And if you ever visit, the slides that are worth the wait in line are the Kamikaze Slide and the park's tallest structure that's called the Everest Slide. Number 9. Ramayana Water Park, Thailand. If you ever visited Thailand, you'll know how hot and humid it can get, and there's no better place to go to cool off than the Ramayana Water Park. It's around a 2-hour drive from Bangkok, and it's near Pattaya City and covers an area around 2 million square feet. It's now one of the largest water parks in Southeast Asia. Work on its construction only began in 2011, and it officially opened in May of 2016. In that time, they managed to build a large number of attractions with a total of 21 water slides, some of which are unlike anything you'll find anywhere else in the world. There's a mixture of high-speed thrill slides, competitive slides, raft slides, and slower family-friendly ones, as well as an almost 2,000-foot lazy river that has its own waves, bubbles, and waterfalls. The entire park is themed as a long-lost city with ancient sculptures, caves, and ruins to explore, and this has been done to an incredible level of detail by the same company that provided the theming for Disneyland Hong Kong. Furthermore, there's a double wave pool that has a 490-foot wide artificial beach, a swim-up pool bar, and several other relaxation and activity pools. All of the water is sourced from 9 wells on site and is drinking quality. And there's also a number of dry land attractions too, such as a floating market on a natural lake, a labyrinth, and an elephant sanctuary. Number 8. Tropical Islands, Germany. When you think of a water park, you usually imagine an outdoor venue in a warm country, but designers have to be a little more creative when they're building one in a place with a cooler climate. Tropical Islands in Germany is one of the best examples of this because the entire water park is actually indoors. It's located on a former airfield base that's around 31 miles to the south of Berlin and was built inside a former airship hangar, which is called the Arium and holds the record as being the largest freestanding hall on the planet. Tropical Islands is therefore the largest indoor water park in the world and first opened in December of 2004. The air temperature inside the hall is kept at a stable 78 degrees Fahrenheit or 26 degrees Celsius, and it's split into 5 different themed areas. The rainforest, which contains more than 50,000 plants from at least 600 species, is the biggest indoor rainforest ever built, and the tropical village that has a number of replica traditional buildings from countries like Thailand, Borneo, Samoa, and Bali. It's the final 3 areas where the attractions can be found, though, with the tropical sea offering a 460-foot pool that looks like the waters around a tropical island with a 660-foot-long sandy beach. The Bali Lagoon covers an area of 13,000 square feet, and it's full of fountains, a current canal, whirlpools, and water slides. While the Amazonia area has 2 huge pools, beach volleyball and soccer fields, plus a sunbathing area, of course. Number 7. Caribbean Bay, South Korea. First opened in 1996, Caribbean Bay is part of the Everland Resort theme park that's on the outskirts of Seoul in South Korea. Covering an area of around 1.6 million square feet, it's the largest water park in the country and holds an impressive world record. The attractions in the park are split across 5 areas. The Aquatic Center is the indoor section of the Caribbean Bay where there's a wave pool and a diving pool, 3 water tube slides, and a beauty center complete with a salt sauna and hot springs. The Sea Wave area has South Korea's largest wave pool with the ability to produce swells of up to 8 feet, and the Bay Slide Zone where you'll find 6 tube slides and 3 water bobsleighs. The park's record-breaking ride, the world's longest lazy river, is in its Fortress section, but it's the newest zone, the Wild River, that's the most popular with guests. Intended to be the destination for extreme slide enthusiasts, it has 5 tube slides of varying intensity, as well as a tower boomerango where tubes slide down a slope at a 90-degree angle. Having won numerous international awards for what's on offer, the Caribbean Bay has already secured a huge investment for further expansion of the park, with more exhilarating slides expected to be revealed within the next year or so. Number 6. Siam Park. Located in Costa Adeje on the Spanish island of Tenerife, Siam Park is one of the leading water resorts in the world. It was built at a cost of around $60 million by a company that specializes in water parks from Thailand, and so it has a Thai theme throughout. From its numerous slides, food outlets, and entertainment venues, it's so large it's actually the biggest collection of Thai-themed buildings outside of Thailand itself. And the owners made sure their new investment opened with a massive claim to fame, the most powerful wave pool in the world. Built by Murphy's Waves, the Wave Palace is a seriously impressive pool, but at the same time, one where you'll have to keep your wits about you to avoid injury. The machinery is able to generate waves that measure up to 10 feet high and can be programmed to produce different types of waves too, such as long runners and rollers, and even ones that run the full width of the pool. Ones that move from one side to the other, and an A-frame that splits in the middle. Normally the pool is open to swimmers, and while the full height waves are way too dangerous for when people are in the water, they still reach far higher than you'll see elsewhere, but it's when surfers take to the pool that it really comes into its own. Number 5. Universal Volcano Bay, Florida. The area surrounding Orlando and Florida is undoubtedly the most competitive region for theme parks in the world. When Universal announced plans to build and open a brand new water park, there was understandably some skepticism. But when Volcano Bay opened in May of 2017, any doubts were quickly forgotten. Sat on a 27-acre site, the first thing you'll notice is there's an enormous 200-foot-tall artificial volcano at the center. It's from there that the 3 drop capsule slides begin, which include Ko'okiri Body Plunge, which at 125 feet tall is easily the highest in the United States. There's also other slides that twist and turn around through the volcano, but this is just the beginning of the attractions on offer at this park. The entire site is themed after Polynesian culture and also features the wave village that has several wave pools, relaxation pools, and a cabana village. Then there's the river village with family attractions like a lazy river and gentle raft slides, and the rainforest village that has further thrill slides such as multi-passenger raft rides. If water parks are your thing and you're visiting Florida, Universal Volcano Bay simply has to be on your list of places to go. Number 4. Hoten Vietnam. Despite now being fully closed, the Hoten Water Park in Vietnam will go down in history as one of the most ambitious and extreme water parks ever built. It opened to great excitement in 2004 despite not even being fully complete, and saw thousands of people flocking to the venue to see 3-story tall Dragon Aquarium, where while walking up staircases inside its body, they'll be able to see manta rays, crocodiles, and sharks. With plans to build various different slides, pools, and water coasters, it didn't maintain the excitement for very long, because at the beginning there simply wasn't as much to do as had been promised. Within a few years, the park's finances were suffering. They never completed large sections, which meant the overall capacity was lower than projected, and there wasn't enough on offer to keep people coming back. There were a number of attempts to turn its fortunes around, though, but all these ultimately failed and the park was shut down for good. Just a few miles outside of the nearest town, the park has simply been left alone since that day, and it's now a ghostly place. The water slides that had been finished are now dry and cracked, and the amphitheater is falling into pieces. But the Central Dragon Aquarium still majestically looks out across the lake. It had become a popular place for urban explorers to visit until people realized that while the park had shut, the animals had been left behind, and there were several crocodiles still living in the lake. They have now been taken to a local wildlife sanctuary to be cared for, so there's now thankfully less of a risk of being eaten if you do try to visit. But you'd surely have to be brave enough even to put a foot in that water just in case something has been missed. Number 3. Ixtapan Parque, Aquatico, Mexico. Around a 90-minute drive from Mexico City is where you'll find Ixtapan Water Park, which is the largest water park in Mexico. Designed to attract people of all ages, the sprawling site has plenty to do to keep everyone entertained. There are jacuzzis, wave pools, and several lazy rivers for those who want to take things at a slower pace. A day spa and a number of thermal baths if you just need to rest and relax. If you're looking for something more adrenaline-fueled though, the park also features 2 huge slides, the Anaconda and El Abismo. That's one of the only slides in the world to feature a virtually vertical turn, as well as countless others like the Ixtapistas and La Trenzas. They've put so much thought into the variety of attractions on offer that they've even made sure to cater to people who either don't want to get wet or who can't swim. There are a number of zip lines that shoot through the skies too, above the pools, toboggans, and various boat rides, but perhaps the most surprising addition is a miniature railroad ride that travels all around the perimeter of the park. The park has been there for a few decades and is now part of life for the locals, as well as being a major tourist attraction in the region. Number 2. Yas Water World, Abu Dhabi. In the past few decades, huge investment has been put into the development of Yas Island in Abu Dhabi to turn it into a major tourism destination. It's got its own Formula One racetrack, 2 theme parks, Ferrari World, and Warner Brothers World, which is the largest indoor theme park in the world. And there's also Yas Water World, which is a huge water park that's spread over 37 acres. After several years of development, it first opened in January of 2013, and there's something on offer for absolutely everyone. There's a total of 45 rides, slides, and attractions that are split into 4 categories: adrenaline rush, exciting adventures, moving and grooving, and young fun. There are 6 slides in the adrenaline rush category, which include the highest ones, Jebel Drop and Hamlul's Humps, and the fastest, which is called Liwa's Loop. As is the case with theme parks, most water parks purchase rides and slides from companies that have installed the same designs at other locations. But Yas Water World has 6 attractions that can't be found anywhere else. The entire park is also themed around Emirati culture through a story called The Lost Pearl, where guests join a young girl called Dana to try to help her find the mysterious pearl in order to bring prosperity back to her village. Since opening, the park has won a number of awards for its ingenuity and sheer size, and the owners have gone to lengths to host international events there to maintain its high profile. It's at Yas Water World, for example, that the annual World Flowboarding Championships are held. And for those that are interested, there are regular training sessions in the dedicated wave pool to teach you how to ride the waves on the flowboards as part of the Yas Flow League. Number 1. Action Park, Mountain Creek. Undoubtedly, the most famous extreme water park to have ever existed was Action Park in New Jersey, which pushed what was possible with slides and pools to the absolute limit in the 1980s and early 90s. Of course, this turned to tragedy with the number of deaths and serious injuries happening because of the lack of safety procedures, and the park was ultimately closed down in 1996, but has since been reopened under new management and is now known as Action Park Mountain Creek. Leveraging its notoriety but ensuring every attraction was up to code and the mistakes of the past wouldn't be repeated, the new owners installed various new rides and overhauled the pools that were already there. A double looping slide with 2 inclined loops opened there in 2014, and the following year plans were revealed for even more. Batting cages were opened as well as a miniature golf course, and construction began on a slide called Sky Caliber, which is based on Action Park's most notorious slide, the Cannonball Loop, and would feature a vertical loop, but would have riders sitting in an aluminum cage to ensure their safety. Plans were also put in place to purchase the world's longest inflatable slide, which measures 2,130 feet long, and transport it from New Zealand to install at the site. It may not quite live up to the frights and fears of its predecessor, but being at the same location and having the same aim of providing thrilling water activities means it's definitely still one of the most extreme water parks on Earth. I'll see you next time. Thank you to our channel members.